Imagine waking up. No alarm, no coffee, no phone, just darkness, the smell of smoke. And somewhere outside, something is breathing. You don't know what it is. You don't have a flashlight. You don't have a weapon. You have a stick, maybe a rock, and whatever courage you were born with. This was Tuesday, for a cave person, every single week. We talk about stress today, deadlines, traffic, bad Wi-Fi. But our ancestors? They lived in a world where literally everything around them was trying to kill them. And I mean everything. Let's talk about what that actually looked like. Picture Europe, about 40,000 years ago. Green, wild, and absolutely packed with things that want to eat you. You step outside your cave in the morning, and I want you to really picture this. And the first thing you notice is tracks in the mud. Big ones. Too big. You're not sure if they're from last night or 5 minutes ago. Because out there, wandering the same valleys and riverbanks as your tribe, were cave lions, not regular lions. Cave lions. About 25% bigger than the ones alive today. Faster. Heavier. And they didn't have any particular fear of humans, because honestly, why would they? We were small, slow, and delicious. But the cave lion wasn't even the main threat. That title probably goes to the cave hyena. See, people have this image of hyenas as scavengers, cowardly, ugly, always laughing. But in the Stone Age, hyenas traveled in packs of 20, 30, sometimes more. They were smart. They remembered where you lived. There are actual cave sites, real ones, excavated by archaeologists, where the bones of humans and hyenas are mixed together, and it's pretty clear who was eating whom. Your cave wasn't a home. It was a lottery ticket, and hyenas knew where the jackpots were. Now here's something nobody talks about enough. Cave bears. These things were enormous. We're talking about an animal that could stand 3.5 meters tall on its hind legs. For reference, that's taller than most ceilings you've ever stood under. And here's the fun part. Cave bears didn't want to eat you. They were mostly herbivores. They ate berries, roots, plants. Very peaceful animals. Except, they also wanted to live in your cave. And this is where it gets genuinely terrifying. Imagine coming home one evening, tired, maybe carrying a dead rabbit or something, kids in tow, and you find a cave bear has just moved in, decided your cave smells nice, is now sleeping in the back. What do? Some tribes tried to scare them off with fire. Some moved on and found another cave. Some, and archaeologists have found evidence of this, tried to fight. Based on the remains, that didn't always go well. The cave was the only shelter. Losing it in winter could mean death in days. So sometimes you fought a bear the size of a room, with a spear made of wood, and sometimes you won. Let's talk about the animals that weren't trying to kill you, but would absolutely destroy you by accident. Woolly mammoths, woolly rhinos, giant elk with antlers wider than your entire family. These animals were everywhere, and they were annoyed constantly. Picture a woolly rhino, 2 tons, covered in thick fur, with a horn like a battering ram, just grazing near a river. Now imagine a small group of humans trying to hunt it. With sticks. Sharpened sticks? Yes, but still, sticks. There's archaeological evidence that humans did hunt mammoths and rhinos. Successfully, sometimes. But for every successful hunt, there were almost certainly people who got gored, trampled, or launched through the air like a very confused projectile. The interesting thing? Hunting these animals wasn't optional. A single mammoth could feed a tribe for weeks. The fat, the fur, the bones, everything was useful. So the risk was worth it. They knew it was dangerous. They went anyway, because starving was more dangerous. But here's the thing. Here's what most people don't think about. The animals. They were dangerous, yes, but they were predictable. You learned their patterns. You figured out when the lions hunted, when the hyenas moved, where the rhinos grazed. You built up knowledge, passed it down, adapted. The real enemy, the one that killed more people than any predator, was invisible. Cold. A single bad winter, and a tribe that didn't store enough food, didn't have enough fur, didn't find a cave in time, just stopped existing. No dramatic death, no big predator, just cold, hunger, and time running out. And then there was water, or the lack of it. Droughts hit our ancestors the same way they hit civilizations thousands of years later. You can't negotiate with a drought. You can't fight it or run from it. Because other humans were, in many ways, the most dangerous thing of all. Other tribes competing for the same caves, the same hunting grounds, the same rivers. The archaeological record is full of evidence. Healed wounds on skulls that show blunt force trauma, broken bones that set wrong, injuries clearly caused by weapons. People fought, constantly, over resources, over territory, over survival. The predators outside the cave, terrifying. But the tribe on the other side of the valley? They were smart. They planned. They came at dawn. Let's talk about nighttime. Because I think this is the part we forget most. We live in a world where darkness is a preference. You can turn on a light anytime. You never have to experience true, total darkness unless you choose to. For cave people, night was an entirely different world. It was the world where they had essentially no power. The fire helped. Fire was probably the single most important technology in human history, not for cooking or warmth, but for light, for keeping darkness away. Without fire, the night belonged to everything else. Cave lions were more active at night. Hyenas were more active at night. Even other humans were more likely to raid under cover of darkness, so they kept the fire burning. Always. Someone stayed awake. Every single night, someone in the tribe didn't sleep. They watched the fire, listened to the dark, and waited. Think about that the next time you complain about insomnia. And here's what gets me about all of this. They survived. Not just survived. They thrived. They spread across every continent. They figured out agriculture, built cities, invented writing, made art, composed music, went to the moon. All of it descended from people who once cowered in a cave, listening to a cave lion pace outside, keeping a fire alive through the night with their bare hands. Every single human alive today is the product of an unbroken chain of survivors going back hundreds of thousands of years. Every ancestor you have made it. Every one of them faced a predator, a winter, a rival tribe, a disease, and lived long enough to pass something on. You're here because they were tougher than anything the Stone Age threw at them. And honestly, that's kind of incredible. So next time someone says, life is hard, and life absolutely can be hard, just remember, your ancestors stared down a cave bear for the right to sleep indoors. You've got this. If you found this interesting, drop a comment. What do you think was the most terrifying part of Stone Age life? I'm genuinely curious. And if you want more videos like this, weird history, ancient survival, the stuff they don't teach in school, subscribe. See you next time.